Tech Tuesday. Last week we talked about the last mile, and this week we are on Carol Ann. This is your second bike ride?
A second bike ride.
Second bike ride. Well, if you haven't tuned in, this is your first time. I'm Jordan Evans, our host here at Tech Tuesday. Carol Ann and I are riding with Cycling Without Age, and Taryn we can see right there. Taryn is our pilot. This is an awesome program that is run here in Severna Park, Maryland, in partnership. And here we're with Sunrise Senior Living today, and we're having a great time. So this is your second ride. How much do you love this?
I love it very much. This is my old trail. I was on this on my own bike every day, and I will enjoy going it this way.
And Carol Ann, you said you grew up here in Severna Park, but you lived a lot of other places before.
That's true. I came to Severna Park when I was 15. I hadn't been in school for a couple of years, and I had to go to high school. So my dad we were in Trinidad, we were in Hawaii. I've forgotten exactly which one when I came here. But I went to Annapolis High. They didn't have a Severna Park High. And just loved Severna Park.
That's awesome.
Lived with an aunt and uncle who always lived here.
And before you moved to Severna Park, where did you live?
Well, I lived in Trinidad, and I lived in Hawaii. I lived in Newport. I lived in California. No, that was after. Well, no. That was before, too. Lived in California. But I love Severna Park.
So you said when you moved to Sunrise, you had a bike.
Yes, I did. A brand new bike.
Did it have a bell?
I don't remember a bell. I don't like bells.
You don't like bells?
I don't like people that come up on you on the trail and ding ding, and I guess I'm used to running on the trail. So if you just say on your left.
Yeah, on your left.
On your left. Forget the bell.
Forget the bell. I do like a little basket though.
That's nice. Well, I did used to go grocery shopping with the bike, so you're right. You need something.
Gotta have something to carry it.
I remember the day I got the apples, and I got all the way home and was standing talking to somebody out on the road, and the bike fell over and the apples went all over the place, and that was the end of the apples. But no other accidents.
That's awesome. So we're turning on to a trail right now, and Taryn, who is a great pilot, has managed to not hit anything or
Get run over,
cross the street already. This is so fun. And Caroline, thanks for being my riding buddy today.
Well, thank you, Jordan. It's Jordan, is it?
It's Jordan.
And where are you from, Jordan?
I am from Woodstock, Maryland, if you know where Woodstock is.
I've heard of Woodstock.
It's right next to Ellicott City in the middle of the state park.
Oh, sounds nice.
Yeah, well, growing up, I didn't ride we didn't ride bikes, we rode horses.
You were lucky. I don't think I've ever been on a horse.
Oh, that's so fun.
Never been that close. We have Kinder Farm State Park out here. And I know there are horses there, but horses were never my thing. I like my bicycle.
2 wheels as opposed to 4 legs.
I'd take an apple and go out to Kinder Park to give to the horses.
Oh, that's so cool. That's fun.
So I know there are a lot of people. I mean, there are a lot of stalls. And they choose a horse and hope he doesn't get your hand. That always scared me, but I always wanted him to get the apple.
Oh, I love that. Yep. I always tell people, make sure your fingers don't get bit.
That's right. Put
Flat
your hand
palm,
out
put
flat.
your hand out flat. Exactly. So every time they come up, they pull up and you see the bikes, you jump on. What's your favorite time of day to do a bike ride?
Oh, anytime, honestly. Anytime.
Anytime. I like to see the sunset on a bike.
That would be great. That is great.
Mm-hmm.
This used to be, the old railroad station.
Yes.
And post office.
Now I heard that you used to ride the train that used to go down this. How that was quite a bit ago. Now it's just a trail.
It's just a trail.
So where did you catch the train and go to?
Right there. Catch it right there. Walk up to the station. Wait for the train. There was no highway. There was no bus.
Look at all these folks.
And this is my favorite thing to do on weekends.
Good morning again.
Come up here and have a cup of coffee.
Yeah?
My son brings me up here every Sunday.
Oh, that's so fun. So where would you catch the train to?
Baltimore.
Oh, you catch it up to Baltimore?
Or Annapolis. If you miss the school bus, back in those days, it was either the train or stay home.
And what is your favorite thing to do in Baltimore?
Oh, nothing really. Baltimore used to be a good city, and the only thing we went to Baltimore for was the department stores.
The department stores.
Yeah, they were there then. Now they're down at the Marley Station and the malls and places like that. But before that, they were right there on Howard Street in Baltimore. It was Hochschild's, Hutzler's, and the other one, which I forget.
Well, I'm so glad that you got a chance to ride with Carol Ann and I. Why don't we say bye to everybody? We're going to enjoy the rest of our ride, and we'll see you back with a sit down with Sandy, who is the program director for all of this fun things that makes these awesome rides happen. So
they are awesome.
They are awesome.
If you get a chance, come along.
See y'all later.
So great. Bye.
That was wonderful.
That was so fun. And I'm so glad that y'all got to sit and ride with Carol Ann and I. So now we're back, and I'm sitting here with Sandra. And Sandra, you tell us more about what you do with Cycling Without Age.
Cycling Without Age really is a program to connect people in the community with seniors who might be in senior housing or assisted living facilities, and to just use the bike as a way to build social connections, to reduce isolation, and to have fun. Like Carol Ann was saying, it's just fun. And both the volunteers, who we call pilots, and the seniors and the other people who ride with the seniors do it to experience the joy of just being outdoors, stimulating the senses, and being out in community.
Now, Taryn is like one of your most loyal pilots.
She is one of my newest and most active, and she has embraced this wholeheartedly.
And how many rides has she done? We couldn't figure it out on the ride. She said she stopped counting.
She did, and I keep counting just so that I have records for when I start looking for funding. I think she's approaching 30 rides this season.
Wow.
And that's since April, I think.
What?
Yeah.
In 2 months, she's done 30 rides?
Well, she regularly will do 2 rides a day, a couple days a week.
Wow.
And the rides are generally about an hour.
Wow. And this is meaningful stuff. And so just so everyone's like, what does it have to do with Tech Tuesday? Bikes are technology, and these are electric bikes. So these are electric bikes that are used to push people around, but I mean, that's so simple. It's on a broader scale, this is creating like meaningful moments in people's lives. And Carol Ann said that she just loves getting on the bike and going outside, and she just like this. I mean, she said she had nothing planned today, and I remember we just rode up, pulled up, and said she was sitting outside. Hey, do you want to get on a bike? She said, sure, I'll get on.
Yeah, and she was a great example of just the sheer joy of getting out and doing something as simple as a bike ride. What that means for the seniors and if you had talked to Taryn, she would have told you the same thing, how much fun she has doing it. But we also hear stories about seniors who will provide rides for individuals who have dementia or memory issues. And I did a ride with a lady and one of the staff here, and when we went out for the ride, and this beautiful woman was just talking about and pointing out all the different things that she saw along the trail, and the volunteers like, I've never seen her this animated.
Wow.
So just there's something. The founder of the creator of Cycling Without Age, a gentleman from Copenhagen, describes being on the bike is like being in a magic bubble, and magic happens in that bubble. People start talking, stories start just flowing. It's the simplicity of it is deceiving,
Mm.
I think, because it really does touch people in a way that other activities just don't seem to connect.
Now, I want to get back to that magic bubble, but for a second, so this all started in Copenhagen,
Right.
and you were just in Copenhagen.
Yes.
How big is Cycling Without Age? Like, how big is it?
Cycling Without Age started in 2012, so we're just 12 years into it, and I've lost count. I think it's in something like 40 countries.
Wow.
It's around the world. Just at the summit that I attended, it's the first one since 2018. COVID, of course, derailed a lot of things. There were 19 countries represented and 140 people.
Wow.
And the exchange of ideas, the camaraderie, the bringing together of people from so many different environments, situations, and we all were there with a common purpose and all had stories to share. Um, and what's great about Cycling Without Age is that while we all adhere to the same general set of principles, the implementation can be customized to each environment. So
Mm.
here we have 3 bikes, and we do rides primarily for individuals who live in assisted living facilities, although we're trying to find people who are aging in place, and we've struggled with that, and that there's more about that in a minute. But there are other situations like in Southern Maryland where the first person to start Cycling Without Age in Maryland is one person, one bike, and she just goes and finds people to do rides, and she'll do 2-hour rides down
That's
there.
so fun.
But and then in I think Minnesota, there's a group that does rides where they take people from senior um, low income housing for rides with bikes that have trailers so they can go do shopping. So
Oh,
you can be customized, and it can be individuals with disabilities or anybody who has a condition that prevents them from being able to get out in the community, reduce mobility, can take advantage of a Cycling Without Age program.
oh wow.
So and yeah, the founder is all about, making it fit your situation.
Wow.
And the big thing is it's always free. It's all volunteer. It's all funded by donations, grants, and volunteer power.
Now let's get back to the magic bubble. Um, this is Senior Living Foresight, so we're all about senior living. And you told me about some something that we didn't think would happen with staff and volunteers in this magic bubble and the interaction with residents in this magic bubble. Tell me more about that.
Um, so I had not thought about the impact on staff specifically, but there was a multi-year study that was just published in Denmark in January, where not only did they follow passengers and the change in their quality of life, which I'll come back to that. You got to hear the scores on the happiness scale. But for staff involved that went with for the rides, they found a significant majority of staff found that they had fun. Okay, it brought joy to them in their day. It changed their perception of what seniors that they cared for were capable of. And I blanked on the third one.
So Have you noticed any difference with the staff here?
I haven't per se, and generally staff is the last to be added to the rides. They tend to like to find family members
Hmm.
or volunteers to go, and I haven't thought about following up with staff to
Yeah.
get that feeling, but I do know that there have been staff when we first brought the program that were like they were all excited. They wanted to be able to actually give the rides,
Yeah.
but the the ability to spare staff for that length of time
Oh,
is
it's not realistic.
not realistic.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have not been able to train staff to actually give rides.
So the happiness scores?
Happiness scores. It was interesting that, again, this was done in Denmark, which is in the most recent happiness score for countries ranked number 2 in the world for happy people. The seniors who participated for 16 to 20 weeks going out for rides, before, at the beginning of the study, they were below the national average for happiness. And
Wow.
at the end of the 16 to 20 weeks, they were above the
Really?
national average for happiness.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It raised. And what they found was, in general, I mean, you saw it with Carol Ann, it brightened her day.
Yeah.
And that effect lasts longer than the length of the ride.
Hmm.
She will feel happier about today for several hours now beyond just that 1 hour on the bike. It carries over then longer into the rest of their day.
And when we pulled up, Carol Ann was sleeping outside, having a nice little day nap. And when we woke up and said, "Do you want to ride?" her eyes lit up.
Yeah.
Um, and the conversations we had were, I mean, even after that you guys didn't get to see it. I'm sorry. The conversations we had were amazing, and we talked about um everything growing up. We talked about living. We talked about what I do and why I do it, and what she did and why she did it. And it's it made for a meaningful time. You're right, it was like a magical bubble.
Yeah. The stories just flow. Um, and the thing is, the bike was an excuse for her to spend time with someone she would not have encountered any other way,
Yeah.
sitting here. It brings people who might not otherwise interact with these particular seniors
Yeah.
together. And the program is best, I think, functions best when the bikes, the passengers, and the pilots all are located in the same community so that you get that repetition
Yeah.
of and building of relationships. So, I mean, you saw Karen has, because of her familiarity with doing so many rides and she knows so many people, the ability to walk in the building and find people she's done rides for and say, hey, let's go. And they know who she is and they want to do that. So I think I would love to see this replicated in more locations and more places, because it needs to be a local kind of program.
So how do I do it?
So the great thing about the whole Cycling Without Age organization is everything is provided information free. Wish the bikes were. So cyclingwithoutage.org is the website for the global office. Cyclingwithoutage.com is the U.S. Website
So that's cyclingwithoutage.com
for the U.S.
for the US.
and cyclingwithoutage.org for the worldwide. And there's tons of resources and information there. There's links there for facilities who want to know about how to start a program at their particular, senior care facility if they prefer. Individuals can do it. And you become an affiliate by filling out a simple form that just says you agree to adhere to the principles, and you have access to this worldwide organization. People share ideas, resources. There's an online community.
Hmm.
Um,
There's a lot of resources to help you get this done.
there are.
what was your experience in getting this done? Because you had a kind of a roundabout way of getting to it.
I did. I went out looking for something totally different on the internet. I was trying to find my one of my daughters uses an adaptive trike to commute to work, and I was just looking to see if there was a better option than her current bike, and came across Van Ram bicycles out of the Netherlands, which has a whole lineup of adaptive bikes. And one of the bikes they had was the Chat, which is the bike you rode on with Carol Ann, and a link to this thing called Cycling Without Age. And I'm like, I have never heard of that. So I clicked on the link, said, wow, this is great. We need to have this here. I had already been in communication with Bike AAA, Bicycle Advocates for Annapolis, Santa Rosa County, about infrastructure for my daughter, and adapted infrastructure and ability for her to cycle safely. So I reached out to them and asked if they would be willing to sponsor this as a program under their umbrella, and they said absolutely. So that was the first step. Then I ended up finding, or he found me, a volunteer who had grant writing experience.
Oh, great.
And at the night that I presented the idea to at the annual meeting for Bike AAA members, I presented it, said, love to do this, but bikes are expensive, gotta find money, can't do this.
And are the bikes terribly expensive?
They're $15,000.
Okay.
So
that's not,
the
that's
people
expensive.
Who do, yeah, it's expensive, but the people who are triathletes and they're like, oh, I spend that on my, really high class bike.
That's
a
nice toy.
It's a really nice toy, but these are really wonderful tools. So anyway, I had a gentleman come up to me and said, there's a grant open right now that I think fits your mission, and would you like me to fill out the application for you? I just did it for my daughter's nonprofit. And I said, oh, absolutely. He said, okay, but it's due in 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for real.
Now.
Like now.
Like now.
This was a dinner meeting. He had a draft done by midnight.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were able to get 10 of the 15,000 we requested.
Wow.
And the bike shop in Marietta, Pennsylvania, Lancaster Recumbent, that specializes in adaptive bikes, had a Chat that we were able to purchase.
Oh, wow.
With our 10,000, and they gave us 6 months to find the funds for the rest, so that we could.
That's amazing.
It was amazing, and it allowed us to start at the beginning of the cycle season. And so, I mean, I discovered this in August. Did the presentation in November, had funding in January, had the bike in February, and was training volunteers in March.
Wow.
It was fast.
That is fast.
And we launched April 1st of last year with one bike.
Well, happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
And now you have 3 bikes.
And now we have 3 bikes.
A trailer,
and
a designated charging space inside of Sunrise.
Yes.
Like you are moving quick.
We are doing well.
That is awesome. And so it's doable.
It is doable.
You can do this.
Please do this.
Yeah. And
more people need it.
The website, if you wouldn't mind throwing it up there, it is cyclingwithoutage.com. That's where they want to go.
Well, that's the US one. More information is available at the .org.
Okay, so let's throw both of those up. cyclingwithoutage.com and cyclingwithoutage.org. That's how you can learn more.
If you want to learn more about our program or connect with me, you can find us at Bike AAA, bikeaaa.org/CWA.
That's Bike AAA, bikeaaa.org/CWA.
Yep.
Thank you so much, my wonderful producer, always making stuff happen. Well, do you have anything lasting words to say? This was so fun. I tell you, I think this is only my 4th episode, and I think that this will go down as my favorite episode, and I am now as my mission to top this, which taking a bike ride with a resident and having an awesome conversation outside in the shade during a heat wave in Maryland and finding a breeze. I cannot think of a better episode than this. Do you have any lasting words, Sandra?
It is doable. It seems like a lot, but it is worth the effort. And please reach out if you want information. I'm happy to share. We are planning to host a screening probably later this year of a new movie that was produced.
Yes,
And
I've told me about the movie. Tell me about the
yes,
movie.
so a chapter in Santa Barbara, retired middle school teacher. His sons actually got funding to do a documentary. It's a 30-minute movie about cycling without age, and they interview family members, staff, and some seniors who participated, and it's fabulous. There was the worldwide screening premiere was in Copenhagen for us, and there were a few tears in the house, and we all do this.
Okay, now, like, how do I learn more about that?
Let's see. I'm trying to think where the quickest way to get to the website. Contact me, and I can send you the link.
And Sandra's email is
cwa@bikeAAA.org.
cwa@bikeAAA.org. Sandy, this has been so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank
Glad
you.
came out.
And this has been Tech Tuesday. I'm your host, Jordan Evans, and we'll see you next